Welcome to Anahita TV. Thank you for joining me for another episode. Today's guest is very dear to me. She's a very young and beautiful lady, and she's accomplished so much in the short amount of time that she has been on this planet. Without further ado, here is Fallon.
Hi. Thank you for allowing me to be on here today. I'm so excited to get to have this awesome conversation with you.
Thank you so much for accepting this interview. Yeah, go ahead and tell our audience a little about yourself. You've done so much, and I'm always so excited to hear about all the new things that you're learning and getting into. So I don't know if we have enough tape. But
yeah. So honestly, I'm just a girl that loves nature. I'm an ocean lover. I'm a nature lover. That's really my purpose here. Everything that I've done since I was born pretty much has been really just towards doing my part to help Mother Nature.
Wow.
So yeah, that's, I mean, but for those that don't really know me, I'm an environmental activist, an advocate. I've been doing that since as long as I can remember as well. And man, it's just so much.
So how did you get into being an environmental activist? Like, who got you in? How were you inspired?
Yeah, so I got inspired, I think, from a very young age, being a swimmer and a surfer, and just always being outside. That was my childhood. They couldn't keep me inside, so yeah, I mean, I started out at Malibu Mako's. Mom sent me to camp there when I was 6, and I think really since then, that triggered my ocean love.
Yeah.
I started to really see what was happening to our environment there, and asking a lot of questions. Why is there trash while I'm out here surfing or enjoying the beach? Why is this animal hurt from trash? Things like that. And I started to realize, like, I want to help. So what can I do to help? Because I want to be able to enjoy this ocean forever and hopefully pass it on to my kids too.
Oh, that's such a beautiful sentiment. And last year, actually, I covered for you with your mom
Yeah,
for the trash pickup. So you want to tell us how you got into that? And you actually cover the most beautiful area in Malibu. You are lucky, or I should say Malibu is lucky to have you.
Oh, well, I think Malibu is definitely a beautiful place, and it's one that we should treasure. And it's really my childhood there too. And so when I first got in love with the beach at, surf camp, one of those things that I talked about of how do I help out now, was this grassroots organization called Heal the Bay. And you can find them in Santa Monica, and they do a lot of work to help our environment, our oceans and waterways throughout Los Angeles, and they come up with a lot of great solutions to a lot of the problems that we're having. And so, long story short, I got involved with them at 8 years old. I started helping out in their offices, doing their mailings with donors.
That's so young.
And yeah,
Good.
It was something for me to start and really realize like how important it was to be there. And even though I was in the back room that nobody could see me, it was still doing something, because I was the one sending out the little mailing lists and things for people to find out about Heal the Bay and their next events that they had, or making buttons for them. That was one of my favorites. I used to make their little buttons for everybody to wear.
The artwork, you mean?
No, I just I didn't make the artwork, but I would put them into a button. They would have these little papers, and I would put them in this machine, and I'd sit there for like hours just doing that.
That's so sweet.
But yeah, it was super fun, and that's where I kind of got my start. And Heal the Bay showed me all the ropes on how to get out there and have my own beach cleanups, and how to be able to educate the public about our oceans and our watersheds, and really understanding, I guess, the issues, but also understanding that there's so much that you can do as a solution.
Definitely. So. And when I was out there with your mom last year, I was surprised at the amount of garbage we found. We found, I don't remember exactly, but close to 400 pounds. There's two piles. Can you explain the two different piles?
Right. So we'll have our volunteers come in, and when they bring their trash in their buckets, which are made out of 100% recyclable materials too, those buckets, we'll take them and we separate the trash and the recyclables that they find. So that is not including things that you find on the beach naturally, like seaweed, sand, tar, things like that. We always have to let them know not to bring that in. But for the trash and the recyclables, those we come up with separate piles, and then we'll weigh them. And when we weigh them, that's where we get our totals. And we also have these tally sheets that will mark what we're finding in those bags, so that people know for data purposes, like what is on this beach today, and like where is that coming from. It's kind of like tracing where the trash comes from.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
I think we found the car engine last year.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It was something ridiculous. It was a huge hunk of metal. I was like, how did this end up here? We found some interesting stuff.
Oh yeah, I think one of my most interesting finds was I think 2 years ago on Coastal Cleanup Day, we found a bottle, like a beer bottle, that somebody had left behind on the beach, and like 3 mice got stuck inside, and they were alive. And everybody at this beach cleanup was so worried about these mice, and we were all trying to like break open the glass without getting them hurt. But I've never seen that before, so that was definitely
interesting.
Yeah.
Poor babies.
I know.
Yeah, that's so sad. Another passion of yours is elephants, or are elephants, I should say, and you're also an artist. So tell us about when was the first time you fell in love with art, and how do you and elephants and
so art's always been kind of like, you know, my passion for the ocean has always been in my life. I've always had that too. I always had it as a hobby that I pursued until I got a little older, high school really, and started realizing that art is what's going to be able to connect my passion to help protect the environment to people, because there's so many numbers out there with science, which is great, but a lot of people can't really get the emotion and the feeling behind like what they're protecting from numbers. You need to see it, you need to feel it. And I think art does that. So that's really why I've gone that route, I think, to helping bring awareness about environmental issues and social injustices.
That's wonderful. So you use your art to help you as That's wonderful to, pursue your your love for the ocean and for elephants. It's so funny because I love elephants. That's my favorite animal. I grew up with a little elephant doll, and I think my dad got it from India, and it was I carried it around forever, and then recently I gave it to my daughter, but it's in Canada.
Beautiful.
She won't bring it. It's at grandparents' house. She's like, I'll just play with it when I'm there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, elephants are just like gentle giants. They're such a doll. I mean, I fell in love with them in high school. I mean, I've always loved elephants, but I never had the ability to be able to see one in person until high school. And so I went.
When did you see your first elephant?
Yeah, so I went on this volunteer service project with Walking Tree Travel. Okay. And I wanted to go because it was my way to be able to go traveling and see other cultures, but also to do it with a purpose of giving back to the communities that you're going to visit. Yeah. So one of the things that you get to do being part of this group was volunteer with Bring the Elephant Home, which is also a nonprofit organization that does so much work to help the elephants in both Africa and Thailand.
Wow.
And so I got to go firsthand and learn about the human-elephant conflict with Bring the Elephant Home. And they took us to the national park to go see the wild elephants, and then they also showed us, you know, what's happening to the ones in captivity and the difference between the two, and then what's happening to the ones that that are with the farmers and things, trying to deal with that human and elephant conflict, because you have the beehive fence solution that they've created now, which is to help elephants stay out of the crops.
Wow.
Without hurting them, because that was one of the main issues that they were having.
That's interesting. So they have the beehives?
Yeah.
And then that's how the elephants know not to go in that direction.
Right. Well, elephants are extremely afraid of bees.
Okay.
And so when they see a beehive, they're going to go the other direction.
Okay.
And they let all their other elephant friends know.
Not to go this way.
Exactly.
That's such a smart way. You make honey and the elephants are safe.
Exactly, yeah. So you can see why I fell in love with Bring the Elephant Home and everything that they were doing, because really they were helping on a local level to help with these issues. And I just had to be a part of that more than just the service project.
So wait a minute, now you have two. You have Heal the Bay, Bring the Elephant Home. How many other?
Yeah.
Bring it up. I feel like as we're going to go, there's going to be 10 more.
Oh yeah, there will be. I mean, they were the first ones that I went to volunteer with. And then after that, I was like, man, I have to do more to help out with the sea turtles too, because that's my love and passion, as well as the ocean. I mean, I was born and raised in the ocean, so yeah. I was like, well, okay, maybe now I'll help out with this also. And so I went on I was asked by a teacher from school if I wanted to go with her on this next travel expedition to do community service in Costa Rica to help with the sea turtles there.
Wow. And
I was like, absolutely. I mean, I get to go to Costa Rica, but I also get to help the sea turtles and see one. Like, that's amazing.
That's amazing. And are there the giant?
Oh yeah, they're
those.
massive. Yeah. I've never seen anything like this
big.
Like
as big as this table.
Yeah.
Right.
Massive. And then the eggs that they're laying too are just like, that's a whole nother experience in themselves.
Really? Are they huge, the eggs, or
they're small? They're about this small, but they lay about 165 at a time. And we would have to carry them in bags to like a nesting area to protect them from poachers.
Oh. Why would they be poached? I don't understand.
A lot of poachers, they'll go after the eggs because they're expensive, so people will buy them to eat them or use them for different recipes. I don't know everything that they use them for. I just know that they're used.
One of them is for food?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also know that they'll go after the actual mama turtles too, because of the shells. The shells are a lot of money to people.
Oh my goodness.
Kind of like how elephants and their tusks are worth a lot of money. It's kind of the same concept. So we have to go in and protect them at La Tortuga Feliz, because that's the group that's helping the sea turtles.
Turtles?
Yeah.
My little Spanish.
Yeah.
That's such a cute name.
Yeah, they're amazing too, just in themselves, that nonprofit as well. It's just, I'm so blessed to be able to find all these organizations and get to be a part of them, even if it was only for a few weeks. You know, it was something that I got to be a part of.
Such a beautiful memory, and something, you know, and I'm so happy that you're able to do all these things and you're so interested in giving back to your community. You know, I feel like we're all one big community of Mother Earth, and
absolutely.
And thank you. You're a great example for younger generations to, I hope they watch and learn from all the things you're involved with.
Aww.
So, and recently you met the infamous Wim Hof.
Yes.
And you've got something else going on with him, and that's on your t-shirt.
Yes. So I drew this for our fundraiser that we partnered for. But first I'll tell you a little bit about how that partnership kind of came about.
Okay.
So I went with my mom and my grandma to one of his Spain expeditions last summer, and we learned all his breathing techniques, which are amazing, and the ice baths and cold water immersion.
Wow.
We learned how to do the Wim Hof method is really what we
I'm
were
gonna
there
have
for.
to ask you to teach us
Oh, yeah.
a little bit of it.
I mean, we could do
For
an
our-
ice bath right now. I just gotta get some ice, so.
Maybe we'll save that for another day.
Yeah. Or
I'll
take it to
stick
the ocean.
Yeah. I'm okay with learning the Wim Hof breathing method for today.
Yeah, I mean, it does wonders. It helped my grandmother. All her allergy conditions are completely healed now.
Wow,
Her
that's
back pain is
amazing.
gone. I mean, Wim is just, he's an angel in himself. So we're so blessed to be able to have met him and learn how to help heal ourselves as well through a natural method that everybody can do. And it costs no money to do it,
Yeah.
you know? So anyway, by meeting this wonderful person and his beautiful family, we discovered that we had the same passions to help the environment and to help Mother Nature and humanity to coexist. So that's kind of where it got started, and I started talking with Wim about some of the things I was involved in, and then he told me about some of the projects he's involved in, and we're like, wow, this is amazing. Like, we have the same passions to help. And he offered me the amazing opportunity to be able to partner with him to help save the elephants. And
Wow, that's
so,
beautiful.
of course, naturally, I was like,
Of course.
Wim, we have to help bring the elephant home because
Yeah.
they're the ones that I learned this all from, and they are the ones that will be able to help so much as well. And
Instead of starting something new, you guys just
right.
kind of piggybacked on what already exists. That's
Right.
very smart.
Yeah, we tried to come up with a fundraiser to help somebody that was already doing the good deeds of helping the elephants and coming up with the solutions for the community, but also for the elephants, because they do a lot to coexist the two. And so we're like, yeah, let's go, let's get this started and get them involved. And so I contacted them and found out whether or not they would be interested, and they were so thrilled to have us all come and be part of it. And it was really great getting to see them again, because it had been a few years since I'd seen them. But yeah, so we got started because of the Spain expedition. I found out Wim's interests, and he found out mine, and that's kind of how it all started.
And that's amazing. So
yeah.
now you're working with Wim
Yeah.
to save the elephants. That's great, because you know, having a celebrity definitely does help bring more attention. So what I'll do is, you know, at the channel, I put all the information and where people can go.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And try to help if people are inspired to. I'm sure they'll be inspired by you and help. You know, with the different
thank you.
organizations you're involved with. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
And,
well, I was going to say too, with one way that they could help would be with the artwork. One of my good friends and Wim's good friend, Jamie Paul, and I, we're both artists doing art for a purpose. And so we came up with a line of merchandise that you can get with artwork.
is this the t-shirt?
Yeah, this is one of them, and then you can see the back has the fundraiser on it. I believe that they're still up now for sale, and the proceeds all go to helping the elephants and bring the elephant home.
I'll definitely include the website for our viewers to go
you.
ahead and donate or purchase.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm so excited for you. You have so much ahead of you. And then recently you got into your favorite college.
Yes. So I got into the Art Institute of Chicago. And I've been doing all my activist work there, and they've really been able to help me hone in on my skills more to kind of get that passion out there and get it out there through art. Nice. And so because of them, I'm able to create things like this. And
it's so wonderful to have that outlet.
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about Tree Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. how could I forget my pal Tree Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tree Man, you can see him right here. He's been a big part of my journey as well, even before we met Wim and before I even got started with anything at school. Tree Man, I met him at the aquarium with Heal the Bay.
Okay.
So I was volunteering in their aquarium for a couple years. I started when I was 15. And if it wasn't right now for COVID, I'd still be volunteering there.
Oh.
But yeah, so I met him at the costume parade. And so I was wearing my jellyfish costume that I made to bring awareness about the oceans and what's happening with the sea turtles and plastic bags and things like that. And so we got talking, and I realized, wow, oh my gosh, we have, again, the same...
So much in common.
Yeah, the same interests, wanting to help both humanity and nature to coexist. And Tree Man's was very similar to mine. He's still doing a lot of great work to help humanity and Mother Nature. But I was like, we have to partner, we have to do something. And so he was telling me that he's in this documentary. And Michelangelo, the director of this documentary, he's the one that was like, "Hey, Fallon, do you wanna help out with your interview?" Because I asked if I could interview Tree Man, because at the time I was doing environmental blogs for the city of Thousand Oaks.
Wow.
So I was taking Tree Man's story in and kind of realizing the connection that we had and wanted to write a blog about that. So from that, Michael's like, well, why don't we film this and put it in the documentary, because your mission is very similar to our mission, and we would love to have that. And so I was so thrilled to be able to help and to meet Tree Man and Michelangelo and see all the amazing work that they're doing with their documentary. We filmed the interview of me interviewing Tree Man for my blog, and Documentry, kind of just from there, we've been best friends and we're practically family at this point. So we've helped each other out along the way with different stuff, because we're really ultimately on the same path of helping Mother Nature and humanity.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's so amazing. So you're in touch with you're attracting all the right people in your life who have the same mission. So it's wonderful. You were 8 when you were volunteering.
Yes. Yeah.
And then now it's grown so much. Tree Man, Wim Hof, and I can't wait to see what you do next. I'm very excited for your journey. It's been beautiful so far. And before we go out, do you mind showing us the Wim Hof method, breathing method?
I mean, I'm no expert, but I will definitely show you a little bit of the method.
Yeah.
So I guess we could start off with the breathing part of it.
Okay.
So the breathing, well, Wim says that you're supposed to do 30 breaths, and you breathe in more than you're letting out.
Okay.
And then at the 30 breath mark, you kind of let it all out, and then you hold. And you hold for, I guess you could start, if you're a beginner, at like 30 seconds, hold, and then you gradually progress from there. Okay. So like, now, I've been doing it for almost a year now, so I'm able to hold my breath for like almost 3 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but that, you don't start off that way.
That reverses aging. Did you know that? I've studied
I bet.
I've studied it. I forget where, but when you are able to hold your breath, and that's why meditation is amazing. The more you meditate, the longer you can also achieve what Wim is talking about. You can achieve, and with meditation, it's all about breathing also. Yeah. So it reverses aging. When you're not breathing, and when you are content, and your body goes into a process where it reverses aging, and it actually heals everything, which is why your grandmother had such an amazing response, and she came back and healed. So how long is each breath? The 30, you do 30?
So you like breathe in from your stomach to your chest, then to your head, and then you hold, and then you breathe out. So it'd be like...
But you let out less.
Yeah.
Than
so. kind of like hyperventilating, but you're not. But it's similar in the sense of if the pace of your breath. And so you would do that 30 times. And then from there, that's where you'll hold your breath. And Wim has some really great ones on his app that he has of guided breathing sessions. So if you're somebody that's starting out, you can learn the ropes from him, and he'll guide you the whole way so you know what to do. But yeah, so then you do that, and then sometimes he'll have these things where you can do push-ups right after.
Wow.
And see how many you can do before and after.
Makes you stronger?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Like, I think before I did the breathing session one time, I did like 10 push-ups, and then I did the breathing session, and then I did more push-ups after.
Wow.
And I had like 21 push-ups. I've
Wow.
like never been able to do that in like one go, you know?
Good for you. Wow.
But that's the power of the breath, and how much oxygen can heal our bodies of anything.
That's amazing.
So yeah, so that was really awesome for me to see, because in a way, it's a little funny, but Wim's method reminds me of nature, because it reminds me of trees and how they get our oxygen for us. They're providing us with all of that oxygen that we breathe in, and it's just
and we give them their food,
CO2.
CO2.
It's this connection that we have, and his breath really brings us in tune with nature. So
definitely, that sounds beautiful. I learned a lot about trees. Maybe that's another episode about how they communicate with the roots. That's so amazing to get into and learn. I love that. I thank you so much for joining me. I'm can't wait to hear about more of the amazing things you're getting involved with. You're already involved in so many things. I can't wait to hear about you and Wim and Tree Man and all the upcoming events. Is there anything you like to you announce, or anything that our audiences you'd like to ask them to do? Yeah,
actually, that would be awesome. I'd like to let everyone know that Wim and I and Tree Man, Michelangelo, we're going to be doing more events in the future to help with Heal the Bay, but to be helping nature and humanity. And so you can check out my website, and you can keep updated on when those events will be. But we're hoping to have our next one to help heal the bay and the marine life. So
your website?
Yes, my website, fallonlovesnature.com, or you can find it on adocumentary.com/Fallon. Either one will have the events.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm so stoked to be able to share this time with you and have such an awesome conversation.
Aw, thank you. You're so kind. Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, love you.
Love you. Thank you so much for joining me at Anahita TV. I hope you were as inspired as I am by Fallon. You'll find her information down below. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.